So this is quite a controversial way of thinking in our community, that life will be more easy when Muslim women stop explaining themselves and do what works for them. We have been trained generationally to completely ignore what we need, our requirements to feel safe and secure, and that leads to us being feminine and living happy and fulfilled lives. You have to understand that the community training was completely opposite to this. Stop looking at your mum and dad and your grandparents to try and understand you. Majority of them won't. They sacrifice their whole entire lives sacrificing themselves, and that's all they know. Being a person of service and love doesn't mean sacrificing your whole entire sense of being. Looking after yourself and doing what works for you doesn't mean you're selfish beyond any means and you ignore other people's needs around you. It means you understand what you actually are in order for you to understand what works for you. Without knowing yourself, without understanding what your interests are, where your boundaries are, what things are you interested in, what things are you not interested in, the type of activities you are willing to be involved in, the type of activities where you are completely not willing to be involved in. This level of self exploration is required in order for you to understand what actually works for you. Not figuring out what works for you by watching a film or listening to a song. Because Cardi B said, I don't cook, I don't clean, but baby, I got this ring. But he's gone on since that song to cheat on her about 400 times. She's been on the internet having a mental breakdown. Because when we don't understand ourselves as women, you can have money, you can have looks, you can have career, you can have status. But when you don't understand who you are as a woman, the type of life that you wish to lead, and the type of leader that you would choose to follow. Because women essentially are the chief in the marriages. There's a lot of insecurity, a lot of indignity in our community, keeping people small, keeping them insecure, and ensuring that, you know, the people that are putting these things into implementation, they can keep all the control. They go after your character, they criticize the things that you like and you don't like. But I always say this to my girls, pick your pain. Do you want the pain of living an undignified life full of oppression and abuse, misery? Or are you choosing to live in the path and the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because even if your parents are telling you, just put up with it, stick with it, when something that is against Allah's commands, you are within your full rights to stand up and say and do something about it. The only problem is women are overly sensitive and overly emotional. And the first thing you think about is, oh, I'm going to be all on my own. When you're being abused and oppressed or neglected, or you just live a subpar lifestyle where somebody has the audacity to sideline your life because they felt they could. They felt they could just show up one day and say, I've married someone else, or I'm going to marry someone else, regardless of how you feel about it. Think about it logically. Who do we go and tell things to of that extent without discussing it with them? People we don't respect. And we blind ourselves as South Asian women to reality in order to survive. But this brother almost made another comment which really hit me hard. Was you can avoid reality all you like, but you cannot avoid the consequences of you avoiding reality. The consequences are all yours. So make a choice. Live a dignified life. Deal with some hardships rather than dealing with abuse and neglect from other people. Go out there, get yourself a job, put a roof over your head. Become financially, mentally, emotionally emancipated. Grow up. Because life is going to chew you up and spit you out. And you're going to wonder what happened. And you're left at the mercy of another man and what he's willing to do with you. You're not an object, you're a human being. And yeah, fine, your parents never raised you in that way. So what? We're adults now. You know what's right and wrong. Do what's best by you and what Allah has commanded. We are supposed to be people of service, but we're not supposed to be people of service that have no sense of discernment about where to serve. If I showed up every single day to someone's house and started cleaning their house, our first couple of weeks they're so grateful. After that, they just expect me to show up and do it, because that is what I've shown them, and that is human nature. And I beg of women in my community to please stop being doormats. Grow up, wake up, look in the mirror, slap yourself in the face if you have to, if that's the only thing that's going to wake you up. Oh, I'm supposed to have a mahram and he's supposed to do this, he's supposed to do that. Do we live in the day of our Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? No, we don't. Ghairat, respect, dignity, honesty, those things are rare nowadays. This is the day and age we live in. So please wake up and smell the roses. Life will be a lot easier once you understand who you are and when you decide where you're willing to submit and serve. Where you decide where your servitude and the things that you are submitting is respected by the other person. If you sacrifice your life, nobody is coming to give it back to you. And that's what breaks my heart the most about our women. I'm done watching you be victims of life. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself and other Muslim women by being this weak. A Muslim woman has a soul made out of nur. And that light can blind anybody that's trying to bring in darkness into your life. So forget all the cliches you've been told. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for what's good. You don't have to scream and shout and be abusive. You just simply walk away from places that are not giving you the due respect and providing you the security you need to flourish as a woman. Please get a job. Please get a life. Because the amount of comments and the amount of people I've seen say, I want to leave him. I finally realized, but I can't because I'm completely financially independent on him. And that's an example where you cannot run away from the consequences of blinding yourself from reality. So not only is someone else breaking your heart, you smash your own life to pieces because you didn't take responsibility for yourself. And you took on the cultural component of, well, once I've married, I've completed my whole entire life. I could just lay here until I die and cook salan until my janazah is here. Just wake up, guys, please.